What's up, everyone? To start off this whole 15-minute, 5-question video series, part of the class, I'm going to start it with one of my best friends, the co-founder of Dream Jobbing, Lisa Hennessy. But she is like, her history in this business, she is one of the most prolific female producers in Hollywood. So what better person to start this off? So thanks for doing this, Lisa.
Wow, I like being
but
prolific.
but it's your company too. So this is awesome. All right, Lisa has executive produced thousands, hundreds of hours of network television. She helped launch from Eco Challenge to Survivor. She was executive producer of The Contender, The Biggest Loser. Her credit list could fill this whole room.
It's making me tired even thinking about it.
It's
a lot of work.
And I'm very thankful that now she runs Dream Jobbing, together as a team. So thinking about television, as you know, this whole course is helping people get their first foot in the door television, get their first job. So let's start with you. How did you get your job in television?
Well, I grew up in Chicago, and I came out to California, honestly, because of the sunshine. It wasn't because of TV, it was because of the sunshine. And I worked in public relations, but I heard about a adventure race TV show that was starting. It was called Eco Challenge. And I had a brochure on it. And so I looked in the back of the brochure, and I looked at the names on the brochure, and it was the president and the vice president. It was sort of before reality TV and that type of programming hadn't existed yet. And it was really a race first. And so I bugged the person that was the number 2, basically, for about 6 months. There was before email, it was before cell phones. And I called, I faxed my resume, and I just said I would work for free. I really want to be part of this because it was adventure, it was travel, it was sports, it was everything that I was super excited about. It was a production called Eco Challenge. And I got an interview with this guy, Brian Turkelson, and he was like, I want to hire you tomorrow. And I couldn't actually start the next day because I was working in public relations, and Apple Computer was one of my clients. And he was just like, well, I really want you to work for us. And I cried because I chose my integrity over this awesome dream job. And then about 3 months later, because the interview went so well and I was super passionate about it, the president called me, and I went into the office, and he was like, we want you to work for us. And that person is one of the most prolific people of all time. His name is Mark Burnett. And I was hire number 3 at Mark Burnett Productions. And we all together sort of created what has become the reality show genre, which includes shows like Survivor, Shark Tank, The Voice, to name a few.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into that because you were following your passion. You know what I mean? Your hustle got you in the door. You never know what's going to happen next. Ends up the person that you're hustling naturally because you're passionate about that job turns out to be, Mark Burnett, and your life unfolds.
Yeah.
So you've been an executive producer of hundreds of hours of network television. What does an executive producer do? For people out there who maybe have no idea, what does that person do?
So most people know sort of how a president runs a company. The executive producer of a big competition reality show, like the ones that I executive produce, Alex named some of them: Eco Challenge, Biggest Loser, Rockstar, Expedition Impossible. They are huge, $22 million businesses, really. And so an executive producer takes the kernel of an idea. When you pitch a show, it's really the art of the pitch first, to pitch a network, to actually fund it. And then you have to take that kernel of an idea and create a budget on how much it's going to cost to create that, and then hire the team, and then supervise the creative in terms of executing that in the field during the production, the filming, which is usually about 30 days, and then supervising the post-production, which is where the TV show eventually becomes a TV show through the editing process. And the whole process really, from a kernel of an idea, pitching a network, to getting it sold, to then filming it, and then post-production, usually takes about a year. And the executive producer really is the one who oversees the entire thing, and has both a creative brain in terms of the creativity of the show, as well as the financial and the management of the staff.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. That's why I was nervous. I was like, you're making me tired talking about all the shows I executive produce.
So what's your advice for someone that's trying to break into TV? Maybe they don't know they want to be an executive producer. Maybe they don't know they want to be here or there, but that person's like, I just want to get in. What's your advice?
Yeah, my advice really, truly, there's only really 2 ways to get in, to break into the entertainment business. It's being a production assistant. which is the person who works on a show who it could be a recent grad, and your job is to get coffee for everyone, run errands, basically just be a gopher in terms of working on the production. And you get to meet everybody because you're handing the coffee over to the head actor or the executive producer. So it's a great way to network with people on a ground level, or to be the assistant of a producer or the assistant of the production designer or the assistant in other categories in terms of a production. But by far, being a production assistant or an assistant is the only way. And many of my assistants I always hire very smart, dedicated people right out of college, and they learn everything, every part of the industry through working with me. And then after 2 years, if they work their butts off, then they figure out which career path they want to go down in the industry. And then I help them succeed in whatever they're passionate about in terms of pursuing. And all the assistants that I've ever had have all gone on to run shows, be supervising producers, run their own companies. So it's a great place to start.
Any tips for someone, like whether it's to be a PA or to be that, the assistant of the executive producer, like to get that? Yeah,
well, you got to find the person that you want to work for, and then reach out to them and contact them and say, hey, Lisa Hennessy, I've been following your career. I'm super passionate about the show that you're working on. What you've done is tremendous. I've a lot of respect for what you've done. I would love to just come in and have an interview and meet you, and really what we're doing with Dream Jobbing asks 15 minutes, like some of my time, and then once that person comes in, if they have that spark in their eyes, I either will hire them if I'm looking, or I'll recommend them to someone else within the production that I'm overseeing.
What do you look for? I mean, you've hired literally thousands of people, as you said. Like many of them have gone on to have amazing careers in this business. What's the number one thing you're looking for?
I look for people that have that spark in their eyes, and I can tell when someone's got hustle. It's all about the hustle. I don't really care where you went to school, honestly, or what your GPA is. I care that you have that you were tenacious enough to get in the room to meet with me, first off. And then when you walk in the room, having a smile on your face and saying, I'm happy to be here. I really want to be here. I really want this job. That takes, I know when someone walks in the room, I know if they have that personality that they really want to be there, because the entertainment industry is really awesome and really amazing, but it also takes a lot of work and a lot of dedication. And so I can see that when someone walks in the room, and it's not, I don't see that in a resume. Like, your GPA doesn't tell me anything, your school doesn't tell me anything, but it tells me if you came from a small town and you were brave enough to hop on a train or a car or a plane and come to Hollywood, and this was the industry for you, like, that tells me a lot that you were brave enough to do that, because it takes a lot of bravery, it takes dedication, it takes grit, it takes passion to work in entertainment.
Fifth and final question. I think we're still under 15 minutes.
Okay, hopefully.
What do you love? What's your favorite part? What do you love about being a producer?
Telling stories. This really truly is the greatest job in the world, honestly, and it opens up amazing worlds to you on a regular basis, especially working in competition reality shows. You get to meet really extraordinary people, and you get to travel. You get to access to the keys of so many different kingdoms, and it's always exciting. There's not one thing that's really boring about the television industry. So I highly recommend it to anyone who's passionate about pursuing it.
One final thing before we go. In that same question, what's the worst part?
The worst part is no's when you're pitching something. I mean, that's not fun. So when you're creating shows and you're trying to sell them, that's a difficult process, and no's are never fun. But the no's lead you to the yeses. So I would say that probably is the worst part.
All right. Lisa Hennessy. All right, this is our Dream Jobbing co-founder. Love her. Thank you for doing this. Appreciate it.
It's great. Thank you.